Oh,
Hey, how's it going?
all right, all right. Just there's some sort of echo or like a latency thing happening.
Oh, let me see if I can fix
Wait,
it.
wait. You're okay now. You're okay now.
All right, cool.
It went away. It was weird for a minute.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, and thank you for taking the time to do this interview to promote the brand new album, Lovely Sort of Death, coming out next week.
Oh, of course, of course. So you got the YouTube channel. You're doing. You look pretty busy from your YouTube channel, right? I mean, you're on the phone all the time. It looks like.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is actually going to be my 215th interview I've done in the last 5 years.
Oh wow, man, that's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'm happy to do it to promote Bloody Hammers and promote the new album because I really love what you're doing this time around.
Okay, cool, man. Thank you. That's very appreciated, dude. So you say this time around, like it's this album is more your speed than what we were doing before, or is that what you mean?
Well, when I say that, I mean I love what you've done in the past, but I do like the more darker direction that this is going in.
Yeah.
Was this something that was planned, or did it just come out naturally more darker?
Just naturally, yeah. Well, whenever I was writing songs and you know things were coming out and things were coming to me, I did notice things were a little different, and but I didn't want to put boundaries on what Bloody Hammers is either. So I was like, I'm just going to go with it. You know, I don't want to chunk good songs just because they don't fit in a box or some genre, you know, or what other people expect us to be. So, you know, you just keep pushing on and you just do it anyway. Yeah, I like to entertain myself first, you know, and not worry about what the other people are gonna. That's not this or that. You know, you can't win. Either way, you know, if you don't change, they'd be like, oh, it's the same shit as the last record. Or if you do change, they're like, oh, they fucking changed, the bastards.
It's true. I mean, your fan base, I've noticed this a lot with fan base for bands. Like, they'll enjoy the first album that they hear from a band, but then everything after that they will not enjoy because it's not the first album.
Right, exactly. It's like, oh, it's that first record, man. Man, that's how it is, too. And I'm sure, I'm sure that's how it'll be with us as well, you know. But, you know, you just gotta keep going and doing what you do. Do what you enjoy, you know.
Well, with that said, did you feel like that you were treading water at all? Because when I listened to the past albums, it didn't sound like you were treading water at all. I mean, it had like the core sound of Bloody Hammers, but of course this going into much darker territory. I mean, did you feel like you were stagnant at all?
On the new album or before?
Before.
No, not really. You know, whenever, I guess, you know, there's bands who fit in a certain box, you know, like there's like stoner rock bands and there's like doom bands, there's goth bands, and there's all these subgenres, and you know, it crosses my mind that we don't really fit anywhere, and sometimes that's a problem because people don't know where to book you, like they don't know, you just like, or they don't know what section to put your record in, or whatever. And what is this? You know, I've seen people review, or I've seen people try to. It's like, well, it's doom, goth, rock and roll, psychedelic. It's like all these things. Like, you know, it's not like I guess people can easily tag it what it is or what box it fits in. So, you know, when I was writing the new record, I noticed it was varied. You know, it had a lot of different, I want to say styles or what. I just tend to like a varied records. You know, I grew up with, some of my favorite records when I was growing up were kind of varied or artists did things that you didn't know what was, sometimes unpredictable kind of stuff. So, that's just what I like to do. So that's the direction I was going, and I knew it didn't fit in a box, probably, but that's not up to me. You know, it's up to people to put it in a box. So I just kept going and did what I did. And it crossed my mind, you know, like maybe some of the older fans, or you know, some of the people who are fans of the first album, they either really love it or maybe they don't like it. So, like you can't worry about, you can't worry about that. You just gotta keep going and be honest, write what you want to write. Just let what naturally comes out come out, and don't trash anything good just because it doesn't fit.
Yeah, and
I'm rambling.
Oh, not a problem. I was just about to say, I definitely feel that this time around because with the diversity that's going on, it did feel a bit more natural in the songwriting, more of getting to show what you want to put into the band this time around.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just kind of a stream of, you're just playing around. Like, I read one time with Nick Cave, like, who I've always really liked Cave, but he has a set time where he'll go into, like, this place where he goes and writes songs from a specific time to a specific time. And I can't do that. Like, if I go and I say, okay, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I'm going to go downstairs and write a song. If I do that, it's terrible. Those songs don't come to me like that. They come to me whenever I'm just warming up or, just like not thinking about it. If I put my head into something, it doesn't work. And I just end up throwing those away. But it's the ones where I don't think. I think it's best to keep your head out of your songwriting and just let it flow naturally. And let whatever come. It may be 3 o'clock in the morning when you're goofing around, but those are the best songs for me as a writer. I'm not a disciplined writer. I'm not somebody who can write songs at a specific time or whatever like that.
Well, I actually do prefer that. I mean, I would rather have it come from a more natural place in the songwriting than rather have it sound robotic and formulated album over album. When it really comes from the heart, it has that much more of an impact.
Yeah, and I like I grew up I was a big David Bowie fan. When I bought a David Bowie record, I didn't know what the hell it was going to sound like. Or even Alice Cooper, like Alice Cooper is kind of, what the hell is this record? He does like a new wave record, and then he does like a disco record. But I love that about it, and I like how the Beatles, like they had varied songs, and you kind of went on a journey of different styles and different moods, and it wasn't like, I love the Ramones, I love AC/DC, or whatever, but those bands, you know what you're going to get on every record. It's like, okay, I'm going to buy this new Ramones record, I'm going to love it, but I know exactly what it's going to sound like.
Yeah, it's totally true. And there is nothing wrong with keeping the same style together.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, from a creative standpoint, if you have that urge to want to spread your wings a little bit more and show more creativity, I find nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly right. And a lot of those bands, a lot of bands who are a little more formulaic, which I love, but, they are a business too, and they don't have as much space as a guy like me has. They don't. It's a business at the end of the day. They have to go out and not upset their core fan base by going in some weird country direction or something.
Yeah, the day AC/DC puts out a smooth jazz album, that might be the last AC/DC album.
Exactly. What the fuck, man?
So, for the recording of the new album, did that go pretty smooth in the studio?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's always a struggle getting that guitar sound, getting the mic in the right spot. And, I try to take pictures of what I did before and where I had the mic before, but that's boring technical stuff. But yeah, like dialing, you're getting the right sounds that work together. And this time I used more Moog synthesizer. Since you don't even really hear it sometimes, but some Moog bass lines and some dirty Moog bass lines to go along with the fuzz guitar. It just creates this nice thick sound. And so that was something I haven't done before. There ended up being a lot more Moog on this record than there was. I don't think there was ever any Moog on any other Bloody Harvest record, actually.
So when you were writing the sounds, did it feel natural to add that into the sound, or was that recommended later, or how did that come about?
I live in Asheville, and the Moog factories are like down the street, and it's always been a local influence. And I've done electronic music and soundtrack stuff, and I've always been a fan of synth. And my first record was a Gary Newman record.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've always loved synth, and I just wanted to add more, and not worry about it if people don't like it or whatever. Because it's me, it's what I like, and that's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you like, right?
Oh, absolutely. And with that said, was there any songs that were written during this time that didn't make the album?
They're on the bonus disc. There are some songs, but they actually are released. There's a bonus disc that is exclusive to Napalm Store.
Okay.
And those are the ones that didn't make the album itself.
Oh, okay. I mean, are they in a similar vein to what the album sounds like? I just received a promo for just the standard album, so I'm curious about that.
Those songs are probably a little more in the doom metal kind of, more I would say lower doomy kind of stuff. It didn't feel, the songs didn't feel quite, I mean, the album was pretty calico, but I didn't want to, just my song selection, those were just kind of not, they were kind of a little too oddball. So, but they were like, well, they're good songs, let's put them out anyway. I was like, okay, good. So, no, they're good songs. It's just I like the songs that are on the main album as a unit,
Oh yeah, and I think that's very important too when it comes to track listing and putting the right songs on an album, because when you throw too many left curves into an album, it can really take the flow out of the album as well. And if you have, especially on this album, if you put too much doom into there, kind of like you were talking about, it would kind of ruin the flow that it has.
Yeah, and there's doom moments in the song, like a song like Ether or something like that has got kind of a, and there's the songs aren't doom, like the whole song isn't doom, but there's doom moments.
Yeah.
So, but the songs that are on the bonus are more like just doom, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely intrigued to check that out because I'm always wanting to hear new albums from you. So knowing that there's a bonus disc of the more doomy side of what you came up this time around, that's very intriguing.
Yeah, check it out. I don't know if that's something that John can give you. I don't know how that works, but yeah, check it out.
Oh, very cool. So how do you feel these songs are going to translate into a live setting for the new album?
How are they going to go over with the crowd, or?
Well, I mean rehearsing them and playing them live.
We haven't done it. We haven't actually. Bloody Hammer is mostly just me.
Yeah.
And Devalia. So when we play gigs, we have to. The rest of the guys that help us out are in Raleigh. Mm-hmm. So they're a good 5 hours from me. So we don't jam. We haven't played them yet. So that will be interesting. I can't even answer that question, but hopefully it goes smoothly. But I'll probably switch to guitar. I was playing bass before. I'll probably switch to guitar. I play all guitar on this record, and I think just getting those tones, getting that guitar sound live is important to me. The big fuzz sound. Yeah. And I've had guitar players come over and they're like, I want my sound, and I'm like, but that's not our sound. You have to sound like we sound. You can't use your sound. There's so many egos in bands. That's why I like doing it myself. I'm a bit of an introvert too, and I work better alone. And there's a lot of internal politics when you're in a band. And I've been there, I've done that. Sometimes you have to let a guy's song on the album that nobody really likes, but he'll freak out or quit the band if you don't put his. There's all kinds of drama like that. It's just I just like working by myself mostly, and just I don't have to deal with any other egos or anybody, So. But I know that goes against what music is. I mean, if you watch Dave Grohl's movie, whatever, Sound City, it's music's about guys getting together and playing and making music together. That's what music's about. And that's cool if you're an extrovert or whatever, but I'm not. I don't. I work better at 3 o'clock in the morning by myself. And there's other people like that, like Trent Reznor's like that. There's other people who are, who, like I am. But mostly, I think most people, it's a social thing. It's where people get together and friends, and make music.
Oh, that totally makes sense. And I know I fit more into that introvert kind of style as well. I've been in and out of bands for about 12 years, and it always came down to these horrible drama-filled stories that ruin the band.
It's just, if people only knew the kind of just like how many like children there are out there in bands. Mm-hmm. It's just the egos are just. I just haven't, but I know they exist. I know that there's bands out there that work great together, but finding those people is magic. Finding that group of people that work together, you know, most all. It's like I get sad when I get a book from about one of my favorite bands, and in the band, and you know, the whole book they hate each other. You know, it's like I hate that fucking guy. You know, because I was like, I don't want you guys. I want to imagine you guys are the best buds ever. You know, I don't want to know that you guys hate each other, but they all hate each other. It seems like.
Oh yeah, I mean they're just together just to make a paycheck at a certain point, and I never want to be making music like that.
No, it sucks terrible. That's what I like doing myself, and it's, you know, put a band together when I need to go tour, and that's what works best for me.
And that's what I find very inspiring to introverts like myself, is where you can just put all of your thoughts, musically, lyrically, everything that you want to do through your mind and through this band, and then hire out people that you need to for the live shows, but just make everything the way you want to make it without having to put yourself into that extrovert world.
Exactly. That's exactly how I am. And you know, I'm like, I guess maybe I'm a little selfish or something too. And I don't want to, I've never known a painter who invited other painters to come over and paint on their painting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I mean, with some people, I mean, whether it's like a one-man black metal project or something like Bloody Hammers or a solo acoustic guitarist, you know, sometimes it just takes one person to create such fantastic music.
Yeah. And a lot of times behind the scenes, you know, on some of these facades of bands, there usually is like just like one or two people who are running, you know, like who the creative stuff comes from. But, you know, the public, you know, once you put a lot of people don't know who writes what, you know, and they just think of a band as a unit, and when really one guy might just be just not really all that important. It might not be like bringing anything to the table, but the public knows that person, and the public wants to see that person, you know, and they get bent out of shape if they don't see that person. You know, like if you go play live, or I can't think of an example, but you know, like, you know, if I hire a guitar player and people think that guitar player is the guy who wrote all the stuff, and then, you know, you get another guitar player, that guy goes off and does his own thing, you get another, they're like, oh, what happened to the fucking guy, man? You guys suck now because you don't have that guy anymore. Whatever, that guy really didn't do anything anyway. He was just playing what you wrote, you know. So you gotta be careful of who you put out there and pictures and things like that, because people get, you know, they think that person is important or whatever, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, it totally varies on the band as well. I mean, again, you know, some of them work well with every individual writing their own parts, or sometimes it just works better if one person tells the people that they're working with what to play. But when you record it yourself and then you hire out people to play those live, I mean, hopefully they know going in that they need to do what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but then, you know, I can understand how they feel, you know. But it's easier if you're some band who's a business, who's making money and you pay, and like just a job, you know, like Black Label Society or something like with Zach Wild, you know, you'll hire people because he's. But when you're a new band, it's much harder because you have to get people who really are fans of what you're doing and who want to play your music because you're a fan of the band, you know. And just where I live in the sticks in the middle of nowhere in a town called Brevard, North Carolina. It's like in the mountains, and everybody here is in the bluegrass, you know. It's like, you know, it's a kind of a hippie kind of area, and it's hillbillies and hippies, you know. That's pretty much what it is. Everything's acoustic and peace and love, and so it's hard to find people around here, you know, who want to play, you know, weird goth metal, doom.
Oh, with that said, is there anyone in town that enjoys what you do?
I don't know anybody here, really. I moved here from Charlotte 3 years ago, and I like I said, I'm an introvert. Me and my wife, we just hang out, and I don't really. I mean, I still talk to old friends, but I haven't really. We're like on a mountain. We're at 3,000 feet, and we can't go anywhere in the winter when it's snow. You know, it's just huge, ridiculous hills. So, but yeah, it's not a real social. So kind of a retirement area, actually. So I haven't put a lot of effort in. I should get out more. But Asheville's cool. That's like an hour away, you know.
Yeah.
But Asheville's pretty cool.
Well, I'm actually the same way. My girlfriend and I are very introverted, and we just enjoy staying home more than going out and socializing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's like people, like extroverts. Because most of my friends are extroverts, so they don't understand me. They think I'm an asshole. Or it's like, I'm like, no, man, I love you, but I can't be around you very long. All I need is a couple hours. I'm good. I'll see you in a year.
Exactly. Oh, awesome. Well, once again, thank you for taking the time to do this interview. I'm absolutely enjoying the new album. It comes out next week through Napalm Records. It's been an honor to be able to promote this the best I can. Before we're done here, is there anything else that you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
No, I can't. Thank you, obviously, for an introvert to give me a call and talk introvert to introvert. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I even get nervous when I have to make a phone call or I do a Skype or if I have to go to a show to do an interview in person. Like, I still get nervous. When I actually start doing it, I start to feel comfortable, but before and after, I just feel completely nervous about it.
Right, exactly. I know what you mean. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I gotta go talk to these people. And then once you're into it, you're fine. You're like, okay, I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love doing it. I love being able to promote music I care about, but it also scares me to a point too, because I feel like I'm gonna screw up the interview or I'm gonna put these people in a bad light or something. And it's just more of that like introvert, like, well, maybe if I just send them some questions, then they won't have to hear my voice and the interview will be okay that way.
No, you do good. You do great.
Oh, thanks, man.
I would have never known that you were an introvert. You're good at it.
Oh, yeah.
You're good at pretending you're not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, when I first started off 5 years ago, I could barely talk in person, and now I've just kind of forced myself to do this for the greater good of promoting the music I care about.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.